Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed Nuruddin and I will speak to you in this video about the Urology CESR, or what's called currently the portfolio. In this lecture, I'm aiming to give you just few points and to raise your attention upon certain issues in order to learn from other people's mistake. I will not go through every step and what's needed in every domain because the guidance that the GMC has provided recently is very descriptive. You just need to read it well so you will know what's required in each point, but I'll just concentrate with you today on a few certain points. So in the beginning, let's just speak about the specialty register. When you register in a GMC as a doctor, they give you a general registration, meaning that you can practice as a doctor. So any doctor below the consultant level will be on a general registry. But if you would like to take your career forward and to be a consultant or a permanent consultant in one of the specialties, then at that time you need to be on the specialty registry for that specialty. There is two main ways to reach the specialty registry. Either to apply for a training number and finish your training, then by the end of the training you will get what we call the Certificate of Complete Training, or the CCT, then you will be in the specialty registry. Or if you are trained somewhere else, or you have gained a really good knowledge through your work and you don't think you need more training, then at that time you could apply for what's called the CESR, or the Certificate of Eligibility for the Specialty Register. So how can you decide which to go? I would say it depends on your status. First, are you inside the UK or outside it? If you are inside it, have you finished a good number of training years by somehow, and you think you are ready to be on the specialty register and ready to be the consultant? Have you finished most of the requirements of the application or not? And depending on that, you can decide. If you are outside the UK, so there is two important questions you need to ask yourself. Did you do an actual proper training for at least 6 years of the recent practice? And more importantly, you may have done an amazing training program somewhere, but have you recorded that training in the way that the GMC and the Royal College will need or not? If you haven't recorded any of that, the chances for you to be able to apply is really poor, and you need to think about it. I just need to enforce that the CESR application is not just a tick boxing exercise. It's not like the initial registration in the GMC where you get like the Royal College exam, you get the English test, you get your primary qualification, you send it, then you get the application. It's not like that. It's actually a really dynamic tick boxing exercise that you need to show that your lookbook is really matching the final years of the specialty training. And that it's not just that you have done the operation or the procedure that number of time, you need to provide that you are also competent in it by getting it signed off by senior consultant multiple times on a certain level. You also need to show that besides your clinical practice, you also have a good knowledge by doing certain exams. You need to show that you have done audits, publications, you have a really good communication skills, and you can communicate with other team members, patients, MDTs, and you have also got managerial skills, leadership, you have done some governance work before, you need to provide courses for that, and you need all of this evidence to be happened recently. And by saying recently, it need to be in the last 6 years at least. So once you answer this question and you find yourself ready for that or close to be ready, then the preparation will be the point that you need to think about it. In the preparation part, I will tell you the point that you need to start with is to set your points. First thing, my recommendation is to download the specialty specific guidance from the GMC website and to read it in a really, really good way. And you understand carefully what is required in each domain and what is the subdomains requirements. And you need to think, where are you from this point? What have you missed? When you are planning to apply, remember that they will take only the evidence that you have done in the last 6 years. So for example, if you are applying to apply in 2 years' time, then you need to look at what you have done for the last 4 years. If you are planning to apply this year, then you can look at the last 6 years. Before that, it will not be helpful. If you didn't set like a logical time set, you may cross the time that you collected evidence, then you start to lose part of it. And it will be a vicious circle. You extend to collect part of the missing data, then you lose the other end. So you need to be really careful in setting your point and know where you are, in order also to plan what you can do in the next 1 or 2 years to accumulate what you have missed till now to be ready for the application. The preparation, I will tell you a few rapid points. So I used the Acrobat Adobe software. It was really helpful. It gives you a lot of tools. I'm not making an advertisement for them, but actually it's a really useful tool that helped me a lot in that application. You can create PDF files using it, combine it. You can make redact by removing the confidential information from the evidence, which is really, really important, and GMC asking you to do that. So without it, I think it will be difficult, or any equivalent software that will do the same will be good. But I found the Adobe was really feasible and really helpful, so I really recommend it. What did I do? On my laptop, I made these folders in a file called the CESR evidence, and I named it by the 4 domains that you have. And under each of these folders, I put another small folder that have these small sections of each part of the evidence. Then for the last 2 or 3 years before my application, I started to collect the evidence in these folders. Each time I do something related to any, I just on the evening open it and prep the file and put it in there in its final format. And it kept going. For example, like I've done teaching course about the prostate biopsy in 2022. So on the evening after I finished the course, I brought the presentation and left it there. And also brought the agenda that showed that I have given a presentation and left it there. I got the email that the faculty who has sponsored the course invited me to do this lecture. Then they send me in the next few days after the course the feedback. So I put that together. Then I combined them all in one, as you can see on the right here, in one PDF file. And I kept adding comments, descriptions, a tag before each part of this file to describe what is that. Like, this is a presentation, this is a preparation, this is the agenda, this is the questionnaire or the feedback. And then I put them all in one file and wrote a description for it. And that's how I submit that part in the teaching section of my evidence. So see, like, this is how you need to prep your evidence each part. You need to collect it from different aspects to make it strong and presentable and sufficient to be accepted as an evidence. So as some people, like other way, like I use I use my laptop and divided different folders and started to add the evidence. The GMC saying that you can open the application for at least 1 year before the time of the submission, which is helpful because if you went to the website, went to my application, then pressed apply, you will find that you can apply for the specialty register, and it will open the whole application with its section, with domain divided already, ready. And once you open every tab of it, it will give you a description what is required there. So it's a helpful way. And by that year, you can start to apply your evidence. So I will recommend you to do that maybe in the last year before your application, so you are ready and you will gain time, because the uploading part also takes really long time. Remember that the application itself will be at least 1,000 pages or more. So it's a big amount. You need to spend really, really good time in arranging the evidence in the way that I show you in the example. Like, it's not just, like, for example, the evidence of teaching. You don't just put the slides. It will not be taken like that. You need to show that you have done that in a special arrangement. You had some feedback, or like someone from your senior signed you off to do that. So you need to show that you just didn't give the teaching, but how impacting is that? How strong with that? So you need to collect the evidence and combine it and describe it to show in that file that it is enough. And you need to combine all of these things and group it together. So, for example, on the signs off or the competencies, you will need to collect the similar data together, put it on the same level, arrange it by the level of the happening and by the level of the evidence itself. So these all take time of the arrangement. And you will need to make sure that there's no confidential data in it. So you have redacted all of this information by using the Adobe files. So all of this process is not just that you will sit on it one time and you will be ready. It takes months and months of concentrating and preparing the evidence in order to be ready. I would say if you took one single information from all of this presentation, I would like you to take the part of the mapping. Like you need to learn to do mapping for each part of your evidence. For example, in the competency level, actually the GMC has put in the new guideline that you need at the end to put like an Excel sheet or a map to describe how many PBAs you have applied, for example, for the TRP. What are they level? Who signed you off? Which year and from which hospital? They don't just want you to submit them after each other. You need to describe it. And these help the assessors to look at your evidence in a good way and reach the decision in a fast way. If you didn't put it in that way, they will take long time, and there is a high chance that they will return it back to you and ask you questions about it. So mapping and mapping and mapping. Just to finalize, there are a few points that I need you to be aware in each section. For example, in the first section, which you speak about the CV and the employment letters and the qualification, you need to make sure that in the CVs, the data that you have booked for your employments are really accurate and they are matching the employment letters in a really robust way. If you have any gaps, you need to make sure that they are explained really well. If you will apply for any certificates in your qualification, you need to make sure that it's authenticated by the same guidance that's published on a GMC website. Otherwise, they will return it for you. And this will make a big delay in your application. Number two, for the skills and the competency, and this is a table that I'm telling you about that they have added now. It's added as an index in the bottom part of the specialty guidance. So see, like they are requesting you to make this table to guide them what you have applied. Remember that you need to do some sign off for the critical condition, which is written in the guidance. It will be enough to make that by CBDs. For the work-based assessment, they are really keen to see a lot of PPAs. DOPS is fine, but they are mainly concentrating about the PPAs and which level you have been signed off in each of the procedure. Make sure in the lookbook that you add comments. You don't just submit the number or submit the date of birth of the patient and the case, and that's it. In the note form, when you're adding on your lookbook, you need to add, like, for example, if you're adding a stone procedure, I need to say, like, this was upper calicale, it was 2 centimeter stone, we used the laser and lysotripsy, we used the suction. So add some notes to show how complicated or how big or how detailed this procedure was. And again, I'm concentrating and again, the map and the map and the map. In the communication part, make sure that the letters that you are got are really good, are really descriptive. They are not just a simple letter. They are letters that have shown a really good communication from you. And don't just send them the letter that you have sent for the communication. You need to get the response back and what you have done in response to that, and put this whole story in a one file with some description in it to make it robust and to make it good enough for the assessor to approve that. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope this would have helped you and guided you enough in your process. It's a longer process, but it's worthy. Like the feeling and the situation that you will reach once you pass this process is really deserving the effort and the time that you will spend in preparation. So I hope you all the best. And for anyone who knows me, you can contact me directly, and I'm happy to help you and guide through anything as much as I can. And good luck to you all, and thank you so much.